But who is chosen is the question.
And we will bring it
Son
out.
of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me.
And his statute, which I command thee this day. Stop.
Set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon. Make the watch strong. Set up the watchmen.
Want to go into that?
For he has visited and redeemed his people.
Set up the watchman mean put the nation in order.
Excuse me, sister. How you doing? You have a question? Can I ask you a question? What's your nationality? Puerto Rican? Your father's Puerto Rican?
My father's from Spain. My mother's from Puerto Rico.
You mean your father? You say your father's from Spain? So he's a Spaniard? Okay, then. Well, we here at ease. We're here to wake up the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Will show me that the spirit is Bible. Now, you said your father's a Spaniard. A lot of our people in 1493, if you're familiar with history, when Columbus came to the islands, he took a lot of the people there and brought them to Spain. So there's a possibility your father, even though he lives in Spain, he could be an Israelite. Now we don't go by color, skin color. We don't go by texture. This is how we know if we are the children of the Bible. Read.
Romans chapter 8, verse 16. The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of God.
See, read that again. Slow it down.
The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit.
The spirit of this Bible bears witness with our spirit. So while we bringing out these scriptures, and just bringing you to want to listen, it could be a good reason. It could be a good possibility you are one of the 12 tribes. There's a reason why you walk by and stop. Everybody thinks they do it on their own. No, that's not how the Most High works. You woke up this morning, you did not expect to see us here, and you did not expect to stop right here and me to expect you to ask you, what's your nationality, correct? So, the spirit of this Bible and our spirit, we were like, wait, I want to know more about this. Now, you say your father's a Spaniard. Well, according to this, we go by the lineage of your father. Give me that number, 118. So, we're trying to wake up the so-called blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans. They are the biblical Jews, according to the Bible. In 1493, the so-called Hispanics went into slavery when Columbus came to the islands. I'm sure you know about that. And then in 1619, the so-called blacks from West Africa got put into slavery as well and got sent over here. So technically, the Hispanics went into slavery over 100 years prior to the blacks. That's why a lot of Hispanics don't know who they are. A lot of them will say they're Puerto Rican. You know the Puerto Rican Day Parade is next week, right? But a lot of Puerto Ricans, they don't know what the word Puerto Rican means. Puerto Rican just means rich poor. Read that real quick. I'm gonna show you about the lineage.
Numbers chapter 1, verse 18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month. And they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their father.
Your lineage is determined by your father. A lot of people don't know. They'll say that I'm mixed. Nobody's mixed. Your bloodline comes from your father. You may have features of your mother, but at the end of the day, you are what your father is. You ever heard that expression? When a man has a child, what's the first thing he said? That's my seed, right? Because we are from the seed of our fathers. Do you have any questions? Do you go to church? You go to church. What day you go to church? On Sunday, right? On Tuesdays? What denomination are you? You don't mind me asking? So-called Pentecostal. Now, is that denomination in the Bible? Was Christ a Pentecostal? What was Christ? Give me that. I'm going to show you, sister. There's nothing wrong with asking questions. That's what we're here to do. A lot of our people, at one point I didn't know. I was following a non-denominational Christian church, but I always had questions. We used to have Christmas. I said, where's that in the Bible? Oh, it doesn't matter. Easter, where is that in the Bible? It doesn't matter. It does matter to me. I wanted to show me in the Bible. Now you said Christ was not a Pentecostal. We're going to show you what he was. Read.
Hebrews chapter 7, verse 14. For it is evident that our Lord,
which is Christ,
sprang out of Judah.
Christ came from the tribe of Judah. Judah right here. So if Christ was walking right now, he would be some so-called American black or African American. That's the lineage Christ came from. So he was from Judah. Judah is the word Jew is short for Judah. Judah was the third son, right? Third son of Jacob. The fourth son of Jacob. Now let me ask you something. In your church, do you guys what is the Sabbath day? In Pentecost, Sunday, right? If you look in your calendar, what is the first day of the week? Sunday. Give me that Exodus. Now, if Sunday is the first day of the week, let's see what the Bible says the Sabbath day is. Do you speak Spanish? How do you say Saturday in Spanish? Sábado. It sounds like Sabbath, don't it? Isn't that ironic? Sábado, Sabbath. Read.
Exodus chapter 20, verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day.
Stop. Remember. The first thing God is telling us is to remember. If you read the Bible, a lot of the words are redundant, the same thing over and over again. You know why? Because we have a hard time remembering. You'll tell us something, we get easily distracted, and we say, hey, and then we forget about what happens. Read that again.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
We forgot that. Because most of our people think the Sabbath day is on Sunday. So we already forgot. So the first part of that scripture we did not do. Remember, my mother didn't teach me, my father didn't teach me, and my grandparents before that didn't teach them. So we have to remember the Sabbath day. Keep it holy. Now sister, let me ask you, how do you keep the Sabbath day holy? How do we keep it holy? Do we just say it's holy?
But in the real world, that's what we do.
Okay. This is one way you keep the Sabbath holy. I'm going to show you.
Exodus chapter 35, verse 3. Ye shall kindle no fire throughout your habitation on the Sabbath day.
On the Sabbath day, sister, we're not supposed to heat nothing up. So when we're in our house, give that oven a rest for a day. Don't heat no food up. Give me what else you want to do on Nehemiah. This is one thing we don't like doing. Let me ask you, from what you know of the world, what is the most busiest shopping day in the week? Saturday. Isn't that ironic that in some stores it said they'll have a sale till 8 o'clock on a Saturday? Because they know once it hits night, it's another day. Watch this, read this.
Numbers chapter 10, verse 31.
Nehemiah.
Oh, Nehemiah. Nehemiah chapter 10, verse 31. And if the people of the land bring ware or any victuals on the Sabbath day to sell, that we would not buy it of them on the Sabbath.
We're not supposed to buy on the Sabbath. So buying stuff, we're supposed to put that at rest. The Most High don't want us buying, and He does not want us heating up nothing on the Sabbath day. Go back to Exodus 20 and 8. Now, if you want to cook something, cook it before the sundown on Friday. I usually eat probably sandwiches, salad, so I ain't got to cook nothing. It's only 24 hours the Most High is asking. And most people, you sleep for 8 hours, right? So you technically only 16 hours of the day you don't have to cook. Because if you start at Friday, you're going to go to bed like around 10. You're going to wake up around 8. That's already what? That's already 10 hours right there. So what He's asking us to do is not a burden. He's asking to give us a day of no cooking and no buying. But look what a lot of our people are doing now. They're selling on the corners on the Lord's Sabbath day. The same people who profess they love God, they love Christ, they're disobeying.
Remember the Sabbath day. Keep it holy.
So we know 2 ways to keep it holy.
6 days shall thou labor.
The Most High said you can work Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, till Friday night. Go make your money. If you want to make legally, work for 6 days. You can work. I know some people have to work. We got to pay bills. Work 6 days. Read.
And do all thy work.
Do all thy work. You want to get extra overtime. Work on a Sunday. Work extra hours. Work extra shifts. Read.
But
the
7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God.
He's telling you the 7th day is the day of the Lord thy God. Rest. If you constantly working all day, every day, buying all day, every day, you have no stability. All you're doing is buying, work. Most of the people here are selling on the Sabbath. I guarantee you they have no stability. All they're doing is trying to make money. But they keep going back in more debt. You know why? Because they're not keeping that law. And once I say, okay, you're going to keep buying and selling the Sabbath, I'm going to make it harder for you. Read.
In it thou shalt not do any work.
Any work. You don't want us doing any work. Read.
Thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant.
At that time we had servants. He said, I don't want your servants doing any work. I don't want your kids doing any work. So if you own your own business on the Sabbath day, man, you have to shut down your job. Even the people in there, they should have the day off. Even if they're not Israelites, you should shut down your business. Read.
Nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates.
So you understand that, man. I'm going to show you what else we're going to do. Give me a Leviticus 23. So we're not supposed to buy, we're not supposed to sell, we're not supposed to cook. Is that a big deal? No. It's not. Just rest. The Most High is telling you, why don't you just rest, relax. Take a day off from all your worries, from all your bills. Take a day off. Read.
Speak unto the children of Israel,
which is the so-called blacks, Hispanic, Native Americans. Read.
And say unto them concerning the feast of the Lord, which you shall proclaim to be holy convocations.
The Most High says it's a holy convocation. You know what convocation means, man? Excuse me.
That's in Revelation.
Yes. Let me ask you something. Who is that image right there? Who is that? So what you know? Who's that person right there? That's Jesus Christ. Give me 1 Thessalonians 5:21. Now let me ask you something. In church, they teach that. Even if they don't say it, they still do teach it. Because the minute you have that picture right there, they're already going to identify it with Christ right away. Now let me ask you something. This is something in the Bible I used to always say to pastors, and I used to always say to people in the church, and this is what they got mad at. Hear this, sister.
1 Thessalonians 5 verse 21. Prove all things.
I used to say that. I said, prove to me that's Christ. Well, it doesn't really, no. Prove to me that's Christ. Read.
Hold fast that which is good.
Hold fast that which is good. So sister, I'm going to ask you a question. You said that's Christ. Now I'm going to politely ask you, can you prove to me that's Christ?
I can't say that's Christ because I haven't seen Christ.
Exactly, you haven't seen Christ. But let me tell you something. Give me that in Revelations. I'm going to show you that.
The book of Revelation, chapter 1 verse 1. The revelation of Jesus Christ.
What does revelation mean? The root word, to reveal. So John is going to reveal to you how Christ looks. So a lot of Christians say nobody knows how Christ looks. Why does the Bible say the revelation of Jesus Christ? It's going to reveal it to us. So we're going to see between the pictures which is more accurate to how Christ looks. I know some of you are going to get mad, but we're reading out the Bible. If you get mad at what we say, you hate God. Period. Read.
Which God gave unto him to shew unto his servants.
Unto his servants. We are his servants. He's going to show it to us. Give me verse 11.
Verse 11, saying, I am Alpha and Omega, the first and the last.
This is Christ.
And what thou seest, write in a book.
So he's telling John, what you see, write it down. Because my people in the last days need to know this. If I tell you to write something down, isn't it beneficial to you? Because you can remember, you can pass it down to your children, your children. Give me what I need. Give me verse 13.
And in the midst of the 7 golden candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man.
So John said in the midst of 7 candlesticks, he sees someone like the Son of Man. According to which picture do you see 7 candlesticks in the background? That one. That turn around place over there. That's what we have in our church. The 7 candlesticks. Do you see this in Christian churches? No. Because you know what? They don't read the Bible. Christians don't read the Bible. They read one verse and they close the book and they talk for 3 hours and then they want money. Turn around. Read.
Clothed with a garment down
So he's seen Christ clothed with the garment down to his foot. Read.
And girt about the paps with a golden girdle.
So he's seen him with the golden girdle. Sister, if you see the men that's right over there standing, the gentleman over there, you see they got a purple girdle? Christ had a golden one. His girdle was made out of gold. Read.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
His head and his hairs was white like wool. If you go into Spanish, it says pelo lana, right? Lana. Let me ask something. Does he have hair like wool? No, he has hair like a horse. He don't have hair like wool. And let me ask you, is it, read that again?
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
Is his hair color white? Who has white hair? Which picture? Okay, so we already know the texture of hair. If you look up the word woolly hair, it said hair belonging to the Negro. Christ has the same hair as you, as this gentleman right here, as this gentleman right here. Christ has the same hair like you. And did Christ not say, you see me, you seen the Father? So guess what? The Heavenly Father has, as you would call, nappy hair. Christ has nappy hair, just in case you don't know. Because that's more of a terminology we use now. Bad hair, as Spanish people say, right? Pelo malo. My father had that same time. My father has that same type of hair. Read.
As white as snow.
So his hair was white as snow. Is his hair white? No, it's not. That hair, that gentleman right there, his hair is white, correct? Read.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
Give me Genesis 49. It says his eyes was like a flame of fire. Let me ask you something. When you drink wine, doesn't the whiteness of your eyes turn a little red? Yeah. So we're going to read that. Read.
Genesis 49 verse 12. His eyes shall be red with wine.
So Moses was already prophesying Christ, and his eyes shall be red with wine. Go back. And that's what John is seeing. The same thing. Is his eyes red with wine? No. That's another strike. Keep going.
Verse 15. Revelation 1. And his feet.
Stop. Remember it said he had a garment down to his feet, right? So he's looking at his feet. Are the top of your feet the same compression as your body? The top of your feet. Yes. So he's looking at his feet now.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
What color is brass? Brown. Yeah, like a brownish. Let's just say it's light brown. The lightest of brown. Right? Read. As if. Now he's comparing how that brown looks. As if. So we're going to see how light or how dark that brown is. Read.
As if they burn in a furnace.
When you burn rice, what color is it? Black. So if you burn something that's a light brown, what color is it? So let me ask you something. With all due respect, who the hell is this guy then? That's not Christ. That's not Christ. You just, sister, you just learned right now that they have not teach you in the church that this is how Christ looks. Christ looks more like that man. That is the depiction of Christ. So let me ask you something. So if Christ looked like that, if Christ looked at dark skin, was Christ a Jew? Was Christ a Jew, man? What was he? Give me back that Hebrews. I'm going to explain to you. Now, if you know Christ was a man of color. Exactly. So if Christ was black and the Jewish people living in Israel are white, what happened to the Jews then? Give me that. Hold that. Give me Deuteronomy 28:16. We're going to show you what happened to the Jews. Because if Christ was a man of color, right, he came from the tribe of Judah, there's no way the Jews you see walking around could be the same lineage as this man. No way. Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68.
Now you're going to know what happened to the Jews. Read.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Stop. If you know history, the Jews never went back into Egypt, the children of Israel. They never went back into Egypt. Give me what Egypt is. We're going to understand what the word Egypt means. When the Most High said, and the Lord shall send you into Egypt again. They never went into actual Egypt, because what happened? Remember when Moses split the water and they went across? They tried to go across, the water killed them. So let's see what Egypt means, the word Egypt. Read.
Exodus 20, verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
So Egypt means house of bondage. Ma'am, what's another word for bondage? If I say you're in bondage, what does that mean? Slaves. Slavery. Go back.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
So slavery again.
With ships.
Which way?
With ships.
What people in history went into slavery in ships? What people, ma'am, went into slavery in ships?
Africans.
Huh? You ever seen the movie Amistad? You ever heard of the movie Roots? What was that movie about? Slavery. You know they got that from the Bible? So let me ask you, did your forefathers get here in slave ships? Now let me ask you, so if the children of Israel went into slave ships, what people you said in the movies went into slave ships? Yeah, so-called African Americans, right? So the people that's walking around here claiming to be African American, they are the Jews. They are the Jews. A lot of people don't know that. Now in 1492, when Columbus came to the islands, he went to the island Quisqueya, which is now called Dominican Republic and Haiti. When he went into Puerto Rico, which was formerly called Borinque, them islands, when he went there, he brought Hebrew translators. He brought men to speak Hebrew. What men spoke Hebrew in the Bible? The Jews, right? So why would Columbus bring people to speak Hebrew into them islands? Because the Indians there was what? Let me ask you, if you speak Spanish and you don't speak English, and I bring someone to speak Spanish, that would claim that you what? You speak Spanish, right? So you have Spanish descent, so-called, right? So if I bring a Hebrew translator to speak Hebrew to the people, that means their descent is what? Hebrew. So that means the Indians that were living in them islands were Hebrew. So they're Hebrew, they're the same people in this Bible. Does that make sense? Give me Deuteronomy 28 and 15. I'm going to show you something. Yeah, but give me Deuteronomy 28 and 15.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15.
Excuse me, man, real quick. What's your nationality? Boricua. Now let me ask them, no disrespect, because I asked all the same question, and I grew up saying the same thing, Boricua hasta la muerte, and all that stuff. What does Boricua mean?
What does it mean?
What does it mean?
It's national.
Now, no disrespect, for you to say the same question I asked, that means you don't know. Because when somebody asks me something, if someone said, what does this mean? I say, what does this mean? That means I really don't know, because now I'm reciting back what you told me. I didn't know what it meant. I used to say it, but I never actually knew what it means. I used to think that Boricua means that you was born in the island. The only way you was born Boricua, that both your parents had to be born there. If you was born here, you wasn't Boricua.
I consider Boricua because my parents are blood.
Okay, but Boricua is a Hebrew word. So when you're saying Boricua, that's not a Spanish word. You're saying Hebrew. It means noble lord.
Noble lord?
Noble lords. Because the people in that land were very noble people. You're going to see that next week. What people out of all get so prideful on Puerto Rican Day Parade? Flags everywhere, flags on their socks, flags everywhere. Our people are very prideful because we love that land. But we don't know that it's deeper than that flag. That love, that pride we have is deeper than that. It's much deeper than the flag. It's because we are the children of Israel. A lot of our people that's there, they don't know that. You know what I'm saying? There's a part of Puerto Rico that's called, I'm not sure if you're familiar, but you know who Don Omar is? He's from a part called Luisa. You know what Luisa is? Everybody's there. Everybody there is his complexion. His complexion. You know why? Because they were brought from West Africa down there to mix again back with the locals. When Columbus came, he killed a lot of the Indians there. So they brought more from that island, from West Africa, and brought them down there. Like Tego Calderon and all of them, they're all black people. They're all black. They know they have roots from black culture. You know what I'm saying? Because they are the Jews. Give me that Deuteronomy 28:15. I want you to hear some curses. Yeah.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass,
which means it's going to happen,
if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all all these commandments and statutes,
So we have to do all. If we don't do all that is written in the Bible, this is what's going to happen.
which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
I'm going to ask a simple question because some people don't know this. Some people will say no to this question because I've seen it before. Is a curse a good thing or a bad thing? If I'm cursing you, is that going to bring good things to you?
No.
It's bad, right?
It's bad.
Okay. Thank you for saying that, because some people will say, oh, that's a good thing. That's how some people will really say curse is a good thing. Read verse 16.
Verse 16.
Now we're going to hear curse.
Curse shall thou be in the city.
So the Jews of this Bible, if they would not keep the commandments, they would be cursed in the city. That means wherever you will dwell, it will seem like it's a curse to live. Ghettos, gangs, drug dealing, prostitution is located majority in blacks and Hispanic communities. Car insurance is the highest in black and Hispanic communities. You know why? Read that verse again.
Curse shall thou be in the city.
Curse thou shalt be in the city. So anywhere we live with most of our people, guess what? The car insurance is going to be high. That's a curse that we would have to go through. Is that what's going on today? Why do people have car alarms in their car? Because they don't want their own people stealing it from them. Read.
Curse.
Because we're not following the Bible.
Yes. Read.
And curse shall thou be in the field.
The field is work. Anytime we go for an application, most of us who have a black father and Hispanics, they'll put down, they don't put down they have black in them, they'll be like Hispanic. Because most of our people don't like to connect. You said some of us got black in us, but a lot of us don't want to say that we do, because if you put that in the job, it's hard to get the job. And let's be honest, most people don't want to claim they have any connection to being Moreno because they feel that they won't get a job.
That's what we are.
I understand, sister, you saying that, but a lot of people don't want to admit that. We'll say that one-on-one, but if it's a bunch of us, we'll be like, oh no, we're not related to them. But a lot of us one-on-one will.
I am what I am.
Curse shall be thy basket and thy store.
Curse shall be thy basket. That basket is referring to our accounts. Let me ask you something. Are most of our people living paycheck to paycheck? The minute they get their money, they have to pay the rent. Because you know what? Our basket would be cursed. We cannot save money because we broke the Most High laws. And read what else it says?
Curse shall be thy basket and thy store.
Thy store. Now I'm going to explain something to you. A lot of our people own bodegas, right or wrong. A lot of Hispanics own stores. But I'm going to tell you right now, from what I know, a lot of them own it doing illegal stuff. A lot of their paperwork is not correct. Even though they own stores, they'll be like, oh look, how can Hispanics be our people? They own stores, they own it illegally. And a lot of them practice witchcraft, I'll tell you that straight. A lot of them practice santeria, and that's how they get these stores. They do something to get these stores. A lot of them don't get it because they got good credit. And I know, because I knew Dominicans, so-called Dominicans that lived across the street from me, every 6 months they had a new owner. And the other owner had to go back to DR for 6 months. I'm like, yo, who's this? Oh, that's my brother. Oh, that's my brother. Always a new guy coming in because their paperwork was never right. So a lot of our people may have stores, but believe it, we don't own the stores. We do not own stores. And a lot of us own barbershops. They used to do that where I'm from in Jersey City. That police came in, they shut down 35 barbershops in one day because all their paperwork was wrong. They didn't have no hot water. They had to shut down everything. They failed almost every inspection. So that's letting you know, sister, that's letting you know that we'll be cursed in thy store.
Shalom, Israel. I'm Elder Nathaniel, Israel United in Christ. YouTube likes to shut our channels down, as some of you have noticed, ever so often. Subscribing to join IUIC will assure you will always stay connected to our YouTube accounts. We want to do our best to make sure this truth gets out. Please click and join our subscriber YouTube channel called Join IUIC to stay linked to all of our videos. So again, please make sure you subscribe to this and join IUIC channel to get your latest updates from all our YouTube channels. Shalom.